Hey everybody, my name is Ashley Petrusin. I just say that just in case the video goes somewhere. So somebody asked me on the last video, how did I get here? And it's a long, long story, but I thought that it would be a good topic for me to talk about today. And how did I get here? To me, it's important to ask myself, why didn't I get here sooner? And why, like, what was going on? And so for those of you who don't know, and actually a lot of people don't, but a few years ago, my mom passed away. And it was actually about 4 months or so before Teddy got shot. And when that all happened, I couldn't process it. I don't even have words for it. You know what I mean? I lost my mom. I was in the streets. I didn't have contact with her. There was a lot of guilt, like an insane amount of guilt that I carried with me because of that, and why I wasn't there, and how things could have been different, or all that kind of stuff. And so from that, that kept me in the streets for quite a while, and I just kept moving, after my mom passed, Teddy got shot, and then I lost our place. We were supposed to be moving out, and I got thrown right in the streets. So what happened was, I got into a place where I didn't think that anybody could ever forgive me for not being around when my mom passed. I thought, I could, sometimes I thought maybe I could call my brother, but I just, that guilt and stuff, it just, and more time passed and passed and passed, and things kept happening. And, between my addiction, me allowing myself to stay so busy in the streets, trying to find shelter, and, all that kind of stuff. And, time just went by. And so I ended up here, because, and I try to keep, anonymity as private as possible. Anonymity is people's private lives. Some people aren't in a place where they can share, and some people are, and to each their own. But that's not that's not my story to tell. But what happened was, my brother. I'm here by the grace of my brother, and the army that he built, and God. He started posting missing poster signs and all these things, and I can definitely elaborate that in a different one too. But he tried to get a hold of me, tried to find me, had people looking for me and everything. And for the first day or so that I knew about it, I went completely off the grid. And for those of you who know me a little bit, it was kind of hard to keep track of me anyway. But I was off the grid for real. And what happened there? It's funny, I'm not nervous to talk about it, but it's just a different experience being on this kind of platform. It's just kind of surreal. You're like talking to yourself, and it's just a little different. But so he had contacted me, and the only thing that went through my mind was that he was going to ask me why I wasn't there when my mom passed. And man, that killed me, man. I went through a lot of pain. I went through a lot of things, and that was not something that I thought I could face. And over the course of time and stuff, I went through a lot of different feelings in the streets, and there were times when I didn't want to live anymore. There were times when I kept fighting and back and forth and stuff. And the last night, me and Capone, we were sleeping on the side of this church, and so at the time, I had 2 active felony warrants, and Capone had been a police officer a couple years prior. If he saw their vehicle, he would just go bananas. And And so they decided to go through this alley that they never go through, man. I've been there a million times. They never go through this alley. And I firmly believe, even then I believed in like things happening for a reason, and some kind of weird sign, you know what I mean? And so they started rolling through this alley, and I grabbed them, I put them underneath me, and I hid. And thank God they didn't see us, they didn't stop, because I would have been gone, and he would have been gone right with them. I have no doubt in my mind that they would have shot him, and either or, I was by myself, and so they would have taken him somewhere. I would have went to jail, and he would be gone. So, I mean, and I spent I wasn't the best dog parent around or anything, and I had an addiction problem, things like that. But I tried, man. I tried my best to do everything I could for him, man. And it was like, there was some kind of sign that was happening there that said, like, you got to give it up, man. And I just started thinking about stuff. Man, I'd been through so much already. There wasn't really a whole lot more I could go through, you know what I mean, that would hurt me like that. And so I decided, I said to myself, like, this is going to be it. That was your sign. You need to make that call, because the next time it's not going to go the way that you want it to go. And so from that, I simply, to say it easily, I made that call. I don't mean to speak for other people. I think that a lot of times maybe people in the streets have someone that they can call, but there's so much distance, there's so much pain, there's so much shit you really just don't want to face. And, and when that happens, you allow yourself to go to a different place mentally, and you think that you can't get out of it. And that's really where I was. And so I decided to say, okay. And so I picked up the phone. At the time, I only had a Wi-Fi phone, so I had to get Wi-Fi. And I picked up the phone, and I called him. And he actually had just come back to Alabama, had been up there all weekend looking for me, and I didn't surface. But his real good friend, who I also consider a brother, was up there in Minnesota, and he showed up, and the whole experience is kind of funny to me. Capone went bananas, and all this kind of stuff, but it was really, I never have said it prior, and I probably should have, but my brother and his friend don't realize that day was the best day of my life. Hands down, nothing else will compare to it. It really won't. Because it was like, I knew that the pain was going to be over. Maybe he would ask me that question while I wasn't there, or maybe he would, but whatever, man, because I had dealt with some demons in the streets, man, and couldn't a whole lot compare to that. And that was the best day of my life. And so from there, my brother, he came up to Minnesota, and he asked me if I wanted to come down here. And I said, yeah, come on, let's go. And we got in a car, and me and Capone, and we came to Alabama. And I did some isolation. They say in recovery you should do at least some isolation. A lot of people take 6 months or a year or something like that. And I took about 2 months. I went to a treatment program here, and I also think about when somebody says, "How did I get here?" Well, here physically in this particular place, I got here because I decided that I'm done with pain. I went through it, and I don't compare to anybody else, and I don't wish anything that I went through on anybody else, and I don't anything like that. But me, myself, I decided that day that I was done with pain. And anything that brings me pain, or gives me thoughts of grief, or gives me any type of bad feeling, really, I just simply don't. I just don't. I won't deal with situations that might bring me pain, because not only because I'm not in that place of recovery where I think that it would be a good thing, more I've spent a lot of time in my own head, and I've created a lot of different things, and I've dealt with, like, abusive relationships, and I've dealt with, being homeless, and I've dealt with getting food out of dumpsters, and I've done like all that kind of stuff, and I don't have a place. There's no place within my body that is left for having any pain anymore. It's just not. I look at every opportunity as that. It's an opportunity. I'm thankful. I'm so overwhelmingly thankful. I'm thankful to have a place. I'm thankful to have Capone. I'm thankful to have the bare basics that I neglected to have for myself in the streets. And so for that keeps me here, and talking about it and stuff, and being in recovery, that helps me, because not only does it help me to talk about things, it helps me to know that maybe at some point someone will be listening, that they might say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and make that call, man. Hey, whatever that case may be, if that ever comes, that would be my hope, is that I don't want anybody else to have to go through any of that kind of stuff. And so that's how I got to Birmingham, Alabama. I appreciate y'all watching and listening, and like I said, being with me on my endeavors. Feel free to leave a question or something like that in the comments if you'd like, and I will answer it on the next video. All right, thank you so much.